It's said sometimes it takes a wrong turn to get you to the right place. But landing up in this nightmarish neighborhood is purely a stroke of bad luck. For these Venus flytraps are hungry for flesh. With just
This plant is a Venus flytrap, and we're looking at that today because we're going to look at a slightly scary plant in the school. Now, most of this week I was thinking, well, we could talk about rubbish because we're starting to get quite a bit of big rubbish uh, left around the school. I thought we could talk about the neglected property, which would be quite a positive message because for this time of year, there's not quite so much neglected property as there has been in the past. We could talk about the sand pit and some of the engineering that I've found up there, but no, you know what we're going to talk today about? This fellow. Late in the week, 3 girls from room 15 came to me and alerted me to the fact that this, well, what is it? This plant, this creature was growing in the garden up by the vegetable plots, up in that corner of the school. And I didn't really know what it was, although I've seen them before at some stage in my long life. But it turns out that this plant, because it is a plant, well, it's a sort of a plant, it's called a stinkhorn fungus, a stinkhorn fungus. That's an easy name to remember. And in fact, when I said it's maybe not a plant, it's because it's a fungus, like a mushroom is a fungus, but this is obviously not a mushroom. Look at it. It looks like some sort of tentacle coming out of the ground. And so it doesn't look particularly safe, so I went to have a look at it and to investigate. And as we have a close look at this particular fungus, it has black, somewhat sticky material on the arms that come out. And do you know what that is? That's where it contains the spores, which it uses to spread the plant, and it attracts flies to carry those spores around the vicinity. Because the stinkhorn fungus has a very, very nasty smell. That's why it's called a stinkhorn fungus. And it is very smelly, and so it attracts flies. And while we were looking at this fungus, some flies were buzzing around, landing on it and taking the spores elsewhere. This is the stinkhorn fungus, and as we get closer to it, it'd be very unpleasant if these were giant ones and we perhaps got sucked down that hole. But they're not, they're only about this big. And they're very, very interesting plants to see around the school. We don't see them often. However, they're also poisonous, and so it's a good idea to get rid of them. Not that any of us, of course, would be foolish enough to think it even about touching and eating something like this. But because they are toxic or poisonous, I've dug them out and we've put them out of the way, so they're not going to be a problem. But look at that, a stinkhorn fungus. And if you come across these in the gardens or in the bush, come and see me, and we can firstly admire them and have a good look at them, and then move them on so they're not around the school and they're not posing any danger at all to us. But isn't it tremendous that out of the bark, out of the garden, all of a sudden these slightly monstrous plants can erupt like something from outer space. I call them triffids. When you're a little bit older, you'll remember a story about these giant plants that appeared called triffids. Well, these look like a little bit like triffids to me. And so this is the stinkhorn fungus. Made quite an exciting end to the week for me, and let's keep an eye out for them. They're not particularly common, but if they do come up, Come and
Hush.
tell me.
With just a touch to one, and then two of the microscopic haired triggers, the plant's jaws trap the prey